In this video, we will go over adding trips and vehicle inspections. The driver must do one pre- and one post-trip vehicle inspection per vehicle that they drive per day, as stated in the DOT regulations. However, our system, the eTrack application or driver's application, relies on trips that the driver creates or that are created for the driver by administrative users. If the driver has the responsibility for creating a trip that they drive on each day, that's the first thing that they'll have to do is create that trip prior to doing any vehicle inspections. To access both the trip creation screen as well as the vehicle inspection screen, or DVIRs, they simply click the vehicle inspection button from the main menu of the driver application. Now the driver will notice that at the beginning of their day, all trips should be closed and complete. And if this is the case, then they simply need to create a trip prior to doing the inspection. To start the process, the driver clicks the Add Inspection button. And as mentioned, if there isn't a trip created for the driver, they'll be brought to the trip information screen. Now there's a couple pieces of information that are necessary for the driver to create a trip. The first is the trip type. Now this is a default that's set up by the motor carrier, by internal users, administrative users of the system, but it can be overridden by the driver at the time of trip creation. So in other words, if this default was long haul, but this driver was driving short haul for this particular trip, the driver simply has to drop the box down and select short haul from the drop-down list. This not only will tell the system what the trip type is, but it'll also snap in place the proper rule set. The driver also has to select the vehicle that they'll be driving for this particular trip. This is also something that can be defaulted in the system. If a driver drives the same vehicle every day, administrative users can default this driver to this particular vehicle, and that's one less thing that will have to be selected at the time of trip creation. Now, drivers also have the ability to create trailer number, to enter trailer number, bill of lading numbers, shipper, and commodity. If the trip is a team trip, this driver can also select the second driver that will be on this particular trip, or leave it blank. Now, at this point, after all information has been entered in the trip information screen, the driver needs to simply save the trip. This will place the driver in the pre-trip inspection. Now we have both means of entering odometer into the system in the eTrack application. The manual system allows the driver to enter a starting and ending odometer based on the vehicle inspection that will be performed, either a pre or a post trip. And that's what we're going to be doing in this case, simply entering the starting odometer. Now, we also have the ability to automate this process if the odometer is pulled directly from the ECM or computer in the vehicle. In this case, we'll assume that the driver has the ability to enter the starting odometer number. Once the odometer has been entered, the driver simply walks through each of these tabs and checks any of the boxes for anything that's broken on the truck or vehicle, the trailer, or the emergency equipment. Checking one of these boxes, by the way, signifies a failed vehicle inspection. This will trigger an alert that's sent back to internal users of the system. Administrative users will receive an alert anytime an inspection has failed, and there's extra steps that will need to be taken by both a mechanic as well as a driver to continue. That will be shown or discussed in greater detail in another section of this help manual and videos. When the driver's finished with their pre-trip inspection, they simply go to the sign-off sheet and click the sign-off button. This will have added the pre-trip inspection, and the driver can now go about their day. At the end of their day, the driver is required to enter a post-trip vehicle inspection. This will be selected for them as they select the vehicle inspection at the end of their day, and like the pre-trip, in this particular scenario, the driver will simply enter the odometer, go through each one of the tabs, checking off any boxes for anything broken that they have found on the vehicle, the trailer, or the emergency equipment, and then sign off, signifying that the trip has been closed. Now this will accomplish a couple of things. This will close their trip. It will also set their duty status to off duty, ending their day. There's a third type of inspection that the eTrack or driver application has to offer that a driver can use as they're going through their day, and that's the interim inspection. The interim inspection is another type of inspection that the driver can use as they go through their day to re-inspect a vehicle, to inspect a pre-trip failed inspection, to inspect any trailers that the driver might pick up as they go through their day. There are a lot of reasons why the interim inspection can be used, but this interim inspection doesn't affect the open status of a trip itself. As I said, the post-trip inspection is done at the end of the day, and once they sign off, once again, all trips will be closed and complete, and the driver will be set in off-duty status. At this time, the driver can log off of the system as their day is now complete.